Hi everyone! It's been a while since I've done a talk through get ready with me, so I thought it would be fun to kind of just do my first get ready with me of 2021 and share with you guys just some quick updates on how things have been going, especially with me and my cats. I'm not really so sure what kind of look I want to do today, so this is just going to kind of be done on the fly, so hopefully it doesn't turn out looking like a clown. We'll see. I'm going to be using a primer that I don't really think I featured on my channel yet, but I used this a lot during the summer. The reason I'm using it today is just because I felt like it. I was feeling a little bit nostalgic for stuff that I used last summer. I'm in the middle of doing a declutter and just trimming of my collection, so I'm using this foundation today just to kind of test it, see if I still like it or not. If not, I'll put it on the chopping block. This foundation is kind of, I feel really conflicted about it because I initially bought it when I saw Pony's summer makeup video. And she was saying that she really liked it, and she also really liked the Synchro Skin Glow foundation as well. And she didn't mention in her description box that the video was sponsored, so I assumed it wasn't, because in America you have to disclose your sponsorships. Well, as it turns out, she wasn't disclosing her sponsorships, and it really made me obviously pretty upset. I felt like I'd kind of gotten scammed. So I have like really conflicted feelings about this product now. Whenever I see it, I think of getting like deceived, and it makes me not want to use it. It is a really good product. Like, it's not like I got recommended to buying something that's absolutely terrible, but it's just the principle of it all that she didn't disclose her sponsorships, and I thought she would have. And the thing was, at the time, sometimes she would put in the subtitle in the description box of her video that this was sponsored, and then she would put the word ad in the description, and then sometimes she wouldn't. So I always assumed if there's no description, it's not sponsored, and if there is a description, it's sponsored. Like, that seems pretty obvious, right? Well, as it turns out, she just only sometimes would say it's sponsored. Other times it'd be sponsored, but she would make no mention of the fact that it was sponsored. Seems really, really sketchy. And so then, if anybody follows the Korean beauty space at all, there was that huge scandal where many people were discovered putting sponsored products into their favorites videos without actually telling anybody. And then Pony got caught with having sponsored a LED mask that turned out to totally not do what it advertised, and in fact might be hurting people. So she just stealthily edited that clip out of the video, but didn't tell anybody, and then she got caught, and so she had to make that apology video and everything. This is honestly still not a bad foundation. I think it's discontinued now, which is why I have some other foundations I really want to test out, and I just feel like if I have the foundation collection I have right now, I should not buy anymore. So, you know, it's like if I polish my collection up a little bit and get rid of some products, then I can try more stuff. I really like trying new foundations. I don't know, it's something really thrilling about seeing how each one makes my skin look. I'm gonna use this, as usual, I'm just mixing these two shades together. And what I like about this is there's actually there's a plastic cover here. My brain's not working. So I know I was complaining about Pony not disclosing her sponsorships just like a minute ago, but I'm still a clown and I still watch her, so, you know, come at me. But ever since that whole scandal happened, Korea finally did officially pass a very similar law to what the FTC has here, where you have to disclose a sponsorship. And they actually have a much more extreme and specific form where, like, it has to be clearly disclosed in the video. Not, you can't just put it in the description anymore. It has to be in the video and it has to be very obvious. And you even have to disclose if it was PR or not now. So what Pony does now, and I still think this, I just can't get over how she's been acting. It just drives me nuts. She now puts colored boxes behind her product names on the screen. Like, the text is on a colored box, and different colors mean sponsored. And if it's in a yellow box, it means it's an ad. But see, the thing is, in the description box where she puts the color legend, where you can see which each color corresponds to, it's only in Korean. So you wouldn't actually know what any of it means unless you plugged it into Google Translate or read the top rated comment that is explaining what each red, green, and blue box means. I don't know, man, that just seems real sketch to me. Like, she's still trying to deceive people in whatever way she can. And, you know, she projects such a professional and pleasant demeanor. It definitely just kind of makes me feel really unsettled. But of course I still watch her, so I can't complain that much now, can I? But she was talking about this product in one of her videos, and it wasn't sponsored this time. Like, for sure it wasn't sponsored this time. And it was on sale in Sephora for like half off. So I figured I might give it a try because I'm still having struggles with concealing my very dark under eye circles. So at this point, honestly, I'll try anything if it can cover me up a little bit. I feel like I have such prominent dark circles, like they just look so dark and they're so sunken. I hate how it looks like, especially once I lower my head, you can see just how bad it is. And then I'm gonna use my favorite cream concealer. I just don't see why it's so hard for people to just say if it's sponsored or not. Like, just tell us. I personally, if a video is sponsored, as long as the content is entertaining, I'll still watch it. Like, if it's a makeup tutorial and one of the products using in it is sponsored, if the makeup tutorial is good and the makeup look is fun to watch, then I'll still watch it. I really don't mind if a video is sponsored. I just don't like it when they start trying to like conceal the sponsorship from us somehow. Like, I know a lot of people are like anti-sponsors at all, period, because it's just like, oh, they're only in it for the money. But I don't really care. Like, congrats to them, but like, please be honest with me. I don't like feeling like an idiot. So from the front, you can see that my dark circles actually look pretty concealed and my eyes look a little more brightened. But once I turn my head down, oh boy, you can see it again. And nothing can ever seem to get rid of that. I guess technically speaking, the only thing that could get rid of it would be like filler, but I don't really want to. It's too scary. I'm just gonna use a setting spray since the foundation is pretty like satiny matte and it's winter. I'll just set with this instead of using powder today. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna be using some powder products on my cheeks probably, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and use just a little bit so that I can blend. And I'm using very little. Like, my brush, I knock almost all the product off the brush. So now that my base is done, I guess we'll just move on to my eyebrows. I'm using this today, but this is the color Cool Cookie instead of Blackout. Ulta was having a points promotion on Urban Decay, and then they also had a points promotion just for being like a platinum or diamond member. And because their points stack in a really weird way, but they still stack, I was like, oh well, I'm actually almost out of brow blades, so I'm gonna go get a new one. So I bought like this one singular brow blade for like $25, but I ended up getting like 230 points, which if you think about it is actually quite a nice reward system they've got going there, especially if you buy during the point multiplication events and you like know how to stack them. You can actually get a lot of cash back for your points, because then you like can redeem your points later for cash back. I wanted to get this shade to see if it would look better on me than Blackout, because I know Blackout, it's a black one, so you know it matches my hair color, but it can get very overdone very quickly. Like, I can very easily give myself Sharpie brows if I'm not careful. So I thought if I got a cooler brown or like a dark cool gray almost, then maybe I can still get brows that look like they match my hair, but without overdoing it. Like, it'll be more forgiving. I've come to realize that my brow game is still pretty weak, so maybe this getting a different color that's a little easier to use will help me get better at doing my brows. I don't like to arch my brows much at all because I feel like it makes my face look longer than it is, but I can't do a totally straight brow either because that just looks really strange. I know in Korea these days straight brows are kind of like true straight brows are kind of a little outdated. A lot of people now, they do that kind of more gentle arch, and I like that a lot more. I feel like straight eyebrows can have the potential to make you look really sad, and my right one is always a little more arched than my left one, but they're not symmetrical, so I try not to force it. And I'm actually going to switch back to my Blackout for the ink stain, because I still actually have quite a bit of ink left on this side. Instead of running out of this first, I ran out of the pencil first. So I'm going to continue to use this ink side. Get my money's worth. It's also a darker color, so it'll look more natural compared to the rest of my brow hairs. I messed up a little bit, but you can see. I'm not really using any brow creams or brow waxes right now just because I've been so tired this month. I really want to get back into using it, but just doing what I have the energy to. So I think I might do kind of a blue look today. I know blue's not really my color, and it's always so hard for me to make blue look like not a bruise on my skin tone, but the Melt Cosmetics Blueprint collection just released and I want it so bad. But I do also have this ODEN'S Eye Mini Ocean palette. It looks like this. It looks a little bit like the Blueprint palette. It has the same blue and orange kind of concept, And blue and orange are really popular together since they're complementary colors. They look really nice together and they mix together to form a really pretty color. So I still really want the Blueprint collection, but it's not in Sephora and apparently it won't be for quite some time, and I really don't want to have to deal with Melt shadows breaking and I have to deal with Melt as opposed to Sephora where I can just return it and get an exchange. So for the time being, I thought maybe I'll just use this because maybe I don't even need the Blueprint collection after all. Maybe I just, this is it, this is enough, you know? So I'm trying to be a little more mindful of what I buy, as always, you know, because sometimes I get a little too trigger happy. It's like, let me buy this package for the serotonin kind of a thing. I'm gonna be using a hydrating eye primer from Urban Decay. This is anti-aging, so it's great if you have dry eyelids. I have the original one too, and I feel like that one just sucks all the moisture out of my eyelids, so I don't use it. It doesn't really offer much of like a tint or anything, which I guess for blue eyeshadow you'd want, but I care more about the hydrating aspect. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in as far as I can, and I guess I'll just start off with my mattes. So I'm gonna start off with this blue shade right here. I've never tried the ODEN'S eye formula before. I bought from them on Black Friday and yet I haven't actually used them yet, which is like shame on me. But I had so many plans to film like more often. I was gonna film like 2 or 3 times a week. But then that kind of all shot out the window. I just, for some reason, have been in a huge rut that I have been having a lot of trouble getting out of. And then I also, because I feel like I don't get anything done during the day, I like quote unquote punish myself by not going to bed early. And I do work an early shift for the morning. I have to be in at work by 7, so I have to wake up at like 6:15 and be out the door to get to work on time. And so I'm basically sabotaging myself, not getting enough sleep, and then I'm too tired during the day to do anything, but then I don't sleep, so, you know, I only have myself to blame for this mess. But it does mean that my productivity kind of tanked, so that's obviously been really frustrating for me to have to try and climb out of again. Like, I thought I was doing so well last year, but I just haven't really started this year off on the best note ever. I don't really do New Year's resolutions or anything because I can't really deal with putting that kind of pressure on myself, but I definitely was hoping to kind of get my sleep schedule back in order this year after doing so well last year with it, and then I just kind of let it fall off the wagon again. So I've been having to take a lot of afternoon naps, and that's time that I could be spending doing something else, but instead I'm asleep. This is actually a really nice blue shadow. I like it so far. And it blends out really nicely too. So you can see I focused it mostly on the inner half because I'm going to put something else on the outer half. I think I've just been feeling really burned out. But you know, like in some cases, or in like most cases, you know what burned you out because like for example, let's say you go to art school and you get burned out on art. Like you know that you're burned out on art. So you step away from doing art for a while if you can to rest and recover. But for me, it feels more like I just burned out. I like just all-purpose burnout. Is the best way I can describe it, where I just feel like I'm burned out vaguely on everything and there's no identifiable cause. Like I even started getting tired of fostering kittens, which was really difficult because then it made me feel like I'm such a terrible person. But I think I'm just fatigued and I pushed myself too hard last year. I'm just gonna flip my brush over and I'm going to be using the orange shade on the outer half and see how that looks. So my 4 foster brothers, who are named after members of the Beatles, they have officially moved back into the shelter to be adopted. They got neutered and everything. And so now all I have is just Button, and honestly I feel like such a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders because now I just have to focus on Button and it's just one kitten. And she's so easy. She just kind of hangs out with us. Like she kind of just gets the run of the place. She basically lives in the house as if she was our cat. Oh, that's not even at all. Shoot. She just kind of lives in the house with the rest of the adults. And I am going to be taking about a month break from fostering. So I'm going to finish up on Button and then I'm going to just continue taking a break. Which of course, you know, I told the shelter and they're completely fine with that because they definitely don't want me burning out either. But it's just really hard because like usually if you burn out on something, you know, the advice that's given is to like step away from what you are doing and just kind of take time off, do something else you enjoy. But if you have general burnout where it feels like you're just burned out on everything, you can't really just step away from everything. Like how do you step away from life if you're burned out on life? I don't really actually know. So right now I'm just blending the 2 shades together and you can see Do you see in the middle that brown that I'm making? It's so pretty. Like, it doesn't look muddy at all. The orange definitely is much higher quality than the blue, but that kind of just makes sense given all things considered. So I'm trying my best to like just try and find ways that I can take breaks, but I don't want to just constantly be doing nothing because then I feel so unproductive. Like, I feel like a failure because I didn't quote unquote get something done today, which is really frustrating. Like, it's a very toxic mindset to have where like there's only that you only have value, or you only used your time wisely if you used it to quote unquote do something productive. Like, for me, it's like, especially just because, you know, being Asian and everything, there's always this pressure to like make as much money as possible. You know, I should go make money doing art. I should go make money doing something else. You know, I need to become a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers as opposed to just doing it because it's fun. And then when I do draw and it's just for me and I don't sell it or anything because I, you know, I just got back into drawing, so like my drawings suck and like why would anybody buy my art? I feel like, oh, I wasted my time. Like, if I did art and I enjoyed the process, even if the art never sells or anything, is it a waste of time? Or was it not a waste of time because I like doing it? It's not a very easy question to answer. Button is hanging out. So I've just been trying to work really hard on like improving my mindset around that. But obviously that's not really easy to do or anything. I'm just gonna kind of mimic this on my lower lash line, I think. I was thinking of doing a split color, but I don't know, not for this maybe. If I had done split color, I probably should have done like blue on top and orange on bottom or something. I did finally start working out again. I took a very long break from working out in November and December because my IBS was acting up really badly. So my stomach always hurt and I felt like I wasn't really able to eat enough to work out, so I'm back to working out again. Was really frustrated by all the like, I feel like I like atrophied during my break, but I'm actually surprised at how fast I managed to pick most of it back up. Like, I had been doing a lot of weightlifting for like my thighs and my butt and stuff like that, and I'm actually surprised at how fast I was able to kind of get all my strength back. Okay, so that's the mattes laid down and you can see it looks really pretty. I'm actually super happy with how this turned out and it was really easy for me to do as well. I'm now gonna take this dark blue shimmer. I kind of want to use it maybe like almost like a liner, not really, but almost. I'll see how it goes. Just kind of like push it on the end. You can kind of see I'm building it up now. So anyways, that's kind of just how my life's been going. It's not super exciting or anything. Like my life, I've always been such a homebody. My life is just not exciting, but that's just kind of what's been going on for me. I've really been trying to like reevaluate all the hobbies I have, like what do I want to do and how to find time to do all of it. Because there's so many things I really want to like get back into. So there is some fallout right here and it doesn't brush off super well. I like smudged it. So definitely tap off the excess. So I kind of did it like that. It looks okay. I'll do it on the other eye. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. I'm still getting some fallout, but not as much. If you're the kind of person to wet your brush, then I don't think you'll have an issue though. So I kind of just spent some time softening it out a little bit, so it's like a wing, but it's also just really soft. So you can see it adds some length to my eyes, but it doesn't look too like, but the thickness is like okay, I guess. I'm applying it really lightly, like I still want the shadow beneath to show through. So I'm purposefully shearing it out. I'm literally just using it to add a hint of shine to my eyelids and to kind of help the two colors look more seamless together. So you can see very, very subtle. I could see how you could make this more intense though. I love the metallic foiled like liquid metal shadows, but I also still can appreciate a more sheared out glittery application, but without actual glitter. I wasn't afraid to bring it up really high. That's the nice thing about having monolids. And then I'm gonna apply this to my lower lash line as well to kind of define my aguosal. I always love doing that. You can see that I kept it nice and subtle. Also, sorry there's not much action going on the cat tree. I'm like trying to figure out a way that I can like show in the background. I think my problem is that my room depth-wise is not deep enough, so like, you know, the wall's too close. Like if it was further back and you could see more of it, then you could totally see more cats on it. But there are cats on it right now, they're just literally not in frame, so I was hoping it would work out, I'm sorry. I'm gonna add some inner corner highlighter, and I'm gonna be using a much brighter highlighter from one of my favorite highlighter palettes that I have. I'm going to be using Gleam, which is in the top right over here. It's just a very good all-around color. It goes with all of pretty much any look that I do, it would go with it as an inner corner. So if I don't really know what to do, I just use this. And I kind of want my inner corner highlighter to not be the same shadow as what I used on the middle lid, because that's a lot more glittery, it's a lot more sparkly looking, and this is a lot more smooth because it's got that baked formula, so it's meant to look more smooth. And so I want to differentiate my inner corner highlighter from the middle of my lid, so you can see how my inner corners look brighter, but it's not conflicting with what's going on over here, which was my intention. Okay, so now I'm going to use eyeliner. I mentioned in a previous Instagram post how I now put eyeliner on my inner corner waterline around here. It gives me that kind of cat eye effect, but because I have epicanthic folds, drawing eyeliner on my inner corner is very difficult because I have a fold of skin that covers my inner corner. But I can actually mimic that effect just by putting eyeliner right here. So I'll show you guys. So I just pull back the skin and I take eyeliner and I just kind of do it like right here. That's it, see? Just very little, and I just keep it concentrated on my inner corner. And I don't put too much either. That's it. And do you see the difference between this eye and this eye? It's like annoying to remove, but it's okay. Because actually right in here, because of my epicanthic fold, the skin folding up right here, I actually don't put it on my waterline, I just put it on the skin. It's not actually in my waterline. It doesn't enter my waterline until about right here. You can see, I'll show you, where it transitions into my waterline, and then I just end it. And do you see how it doesn't actually make my eyes look smaller? It just defines the inner corner of my eyes really well. So I see this in K-pop idols a lot. They'll actually have eyeliner in their waterline all the way from here through here. And that works when they're like the standard parallel double eyelid, minimally developed epicanthic fold. That works in that case, you know, and it's very pretty. But for those of you who have monolids or who have in-out double eyelids with a very pronounced epicanthic fold, that technique is basically impossible. And even if you do it, it doesn't really show up. It doesn't make a difference. So just doing it right here, you can actually mimic that same effect because your epicanthic fold already provides natural inner corner definition on your upper lash line, and then you just continue it on your lower lash line and poof. It actually looks really nice, so I would really encourage you guys to try it. I know a lot of Western makeup YouTubers really demonize putting eyeliner in your lower waterline because it closes off your eyes, but it totally can look really good on eye shapes like this if you ask me. So I'm gonna go curl my lashes and I'm gonna put on some false lashes, I think. Yeah. So if any of you read my description boxes, you will know by now that I never save my false lash packaging. I would like to get into the habit of doing so I can tell you guys what I'm using. But right now I'm just using all of my old pairs until they are too worn out for me to use anymore. So I'm just using this random pair I have here. I honestly really couldn't tell you where it came from. I use Petite Cosmetics and I use Doe lashes and I use House of Lashes right now, so it's either, I think this is either Doe or Petite. There's no way this is House of Lashes, it's just not that style, but honestly I couldn't tell you, I'm really sorry. But for those of you with monolids or smaller eyes, or if you guys are of like East or Southeastern Asian descent and you just have this similar eye shape to me, then I recommend personally checking out Petite Cosmetics. The ColourPop lashes look fine, but the band is super finicky for me to work with personally, so I don't like them. Doe is okay. They claim to be really comfortable, like you can't even feel them, but they feel honestly to me just like any other lash, and they're very expensive for what they are if you ask me, although the shapes are really pretty. And so I personally would recommend Petite Cosmetics. I do really like House of Lashes, and they do sometimes have like 50% off sales, and I know one time for 21 Days of Beauty they were half off. So if they're half off, or if they're buy one get one free, or if it's like 5 for $35 or something, yeah, you should totally get it. But if it's full price, then I wouldn't recommend it. Petite Cosmetics is better, especially because if you buy in bulk, they have a discount. So you could just buy 20 pairs at once and be set for several months and just get the discount that way. They also do frequently have sales of like 20 to 30% off. Those don't stack with the MUA discount, but you can use those as well if you don't want to get 20 pairs at once. And there are affiliate codes out there that you can use. I don't have one, I wish, but I know Judy has one, so And Tina specifically made Petite Cosmetics for people who have smaller eyes. That was her whole marketing thing. That's why it's called Petite Cosmetics. And obviously I really love that it's an Asian woman-owned business, and she employs a lot of her family in her business, and so through her business she's able to support her family, who is an immigrant family, and I just really respect that. So this is what the eyes are looking like right now. These lashes obviously are everything. You know, I really need to figure out what pair these are because I love these so much. I need to make sure that I know what they are so that I buy them again. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you guys out so that you guys can see the rest of my face, and I'm gonna move on to my face now. I'm probably gonna keep my face pretty neutral just because of my eyes, but yeah, it's really pretty. I like it. I'm gonna use this blush palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. I think this might have the shade I'm looking for. I kind of wanted something a little more warm toned since I have orange on my eyes. And I was thinking Persimmon would be a really nice shade to use because it's also still slightly neutral, and if it's too much, I can always just tone it down with Cloudberry up here. Like, it's just so different compared to other shades that I've seen. It is very pigmented, so I'm gonna just start off with a very little bit and just build up from there. I almost think it's a little too pigmented. It's pigmented enough you could use it as an eyeshadow palette, and if I told you it was just an eyeshadow palette but with giant pans, you'd believe me. So definitely go in with a very light hand. I'm using a very fluffy brush from Luxie. They're the best. It's heartbreaking to me that they're being discontinued, but I was able to stock up. Like, this brush right here is just so good for blush application when I want it to be nice and precise. And it blends out product really well. It performs almost just like a natural hair. And I do have a Hakuhodo natural hair face brush, but this is just so good. And especially now that they're $5, like, you guys just need to go and get some. I have dry skin, and if a synthetic brush, especially on my face, is too scratchy, it will make my face itch and flake, and it just feels awful. So for the longest time I was looking into natural hair face brushes to get that would be able to be softer on my skin, but they're so expensive. Like, natural hair eye brushes I can buy, I do have a few and I would like to get more, and you know, they're a little easier for me to stomach, but the face brushes are so much more expensive because they're bigger, and it's just so difficult for me to justify buying one. So when I found these, I was just like, how can this even be real? And then they got discounted down to $10 and then $5, and now it really truly is just like a steal. There's just no way. This is just like impossibly good. So I'm actually not going to take any Cloudberry because I feel like this did a really great job of just making it look really pretty all on its own. But I am going to take a little bit of Salmonberry in the middle just to brighten up the center of my cheek. Like, literally I'm going to take the smallest bit possible. And this is just gonna brighten up the center of my face a little bit. You see the effect before, none of the Salmonberry, and then I put a little bit here, you can see. So anyways, now that you guys know, go get Luxie Beauty Pro Tools. You need to go and buy them all out so that they go out of stock so that I stop buying them. I do want to add a little bit of bronzer just to warm up the perimeter of my face. So I'm going to take the Inda Sun bronzer from Fenty. Technically speaking, I could have used Shady Biz. I could have bought Shady Biz and that would have worked as well. Inda Sun definitely is almost too light for me, but the reason I use Inda Sun is because it still does show up and I cannot over apply it. It's light enough that if I over apply it, it still looks fine. Because I'm not very good at using bronzer. It's very hard for me to make sure I use just the right amount. So by getting a shade up, it's really forgiving if I make mistakes. And on top of that, this shade is actually really great for contouring my jawline. And it's super subtle, so it's great for when I want to add that warmth without looking like, oh, she has bronzer. Because I don't really like that heavily bronzed look. I know that's really trendy and really popular to have a lot more bronzer on your face, but I just don't think I look that good. So I'm always looking for bronzer shades that is like I can bronze, but then it doesn't really look like I actually put on bronzer. So that's my bronzer added. You can see just how subtle it is. I really like it. I'm gonna go back into Gleam, and I'm gonna use this as a face highlighter just to kind of mesh with my eyes. And on the face it can get really intense, so. Well, you can apply a lot if that's the look you're going for, if you want the aliens to see you from space. But you don't need a lot if that's not what you're going for. I definitely have my moments though where I'm like, yes, everybody needs to see my highlighter. Like, I want everybody to know that I put on highlighter today. But then I have other days where I'm like, no, I just want to look slightly glowy, just a little bit. So today it's kind of more towards that latter. It's really pretty though. And then I use my finger just to pop some on my nose bridge. Right on the tip of my nose. And then a little bit on my chin. And then a little bit on my forehead. So now my face is pretty much complete. As you can see, the eye look pretty much dominates my entire face. And then my cheeks are kept pretty subdued. It's just to fill the space in. So I'm actually gonna make my lips a little bit more bold today. I'm definitely gonna make a warm lip to kind of match with my eyes, and we'll see what happens. My cat is sleeping in front of my lips. I'm gonna use the M Cosmetics lip liner in Fawn. Last time I used Kitten because I lost this, but I found it, so it's all good now. In the interest of not disturbing my cat, who is sleeping on the majority of my lip collection right now, I am going to just use what's on my desk. And this is from Sisley. It's one of their lipsticks. It is like ludicrously expensive, but I actually bought this off Reddit for like $9. So I didn't actually pay full price for it. If I had to pay full price for it, I wouldn't have it. Like, I think it's like $50 or something. But anyways, it's shade 12, which is like this really subdued orange. I will say, when it comes to luxury lipsticks, I don't think it's actually like a $56, $57 formula, but the colors are always so well chosen. Like, there's a lot of nuance to the colors they pick. So I do own like some Dior lip stuff, and I do own some Pat McGrath lipsticks, and I find that the colors are always just so pretty. So like the formulas are usually, they're like, the formulas are fine, but it's not anything like, it's not like, you know, 5 times better than a $9 lipstick. But the colors are just so good, and they're oftentimes, for me personally, really hard to dupe in a cheaper lipstick. The color just looks a lot flatter and one-trick pony. But then this is also why I buy so many Korean lipsticks, because they have really nice colors, but they're also not that expensive. This is the final look. I actually really like it. I definitely have a lot of fallout from the dark blue shimmer. You can kind of see very faintly the blue fallout on the corner of my eye right here. But other than that, it's fine. Like, from a distance, it's not really easy to notice. It's only up close that they would kind of be like, oh, what happened to your lower lash line? Then you'd be like, oh well. But that's this look. I really like it. I definitely really like the lip color that I picked. It kind of complements the look really well without taking away from the eyes. I think I could have definitely gone a little more intense with how much orange I put. Like, in the end, the orange actually kind of, it's really like, there's not very much of it. You can see I didn't really put on that much. I'm just gonna really have to work hard to just like pace myself and create a routine that works for me so that I can bring more content for you guys and grow my channel. I definitely was really shocked at how much growth I had when I first started my channel last May, and I really want to keep that up. I don't want to get too stale. So always let me know what you guys want to see. I don't want to like produce boring stuff that like looks too same old for you guys, and I'm always happy to produce what you guys want to see. I know like my cut crease tutorial is super out of date and I should probably refilm it, so I also used really like bad eyeshadow for that. So yeah, I don't really plan on doing too many reviews this year. I don't really like to review things because I don't really consider myself to have a really great like authoritative opinion on things. I don't think you guys should trust me. I hope that just by watching my makeup tutorials, watching my get ready with me's, and watching the various makeup looks I demonstrate, if you guys would just kind of use that, like see how it works on me, see how I use it, see how it makes my skin or my eyes look, and just kind of decide for yourself if you guys want to buy it or not. I'd let other more experienced YouTubers make that call. You guys can go and watch them and see what they think. If you want to see more cat content, check out my Instagram, which is always, I'm starting to kind of always put it in this corner right here so you guys can always see what it is. I regularly post kind of almost like a 60% mix makeup and me and 40% cats. So if you guys really like my cats and you guys want to see more of them, just go and follow my Instagram. I also post stuff about my cats and my kittens to my IG stories all the time. Like if they do something funny, I'll get a brief video of it for my stories. So like, you know, I'm still trying to pull together, I want to put together a more formal, well-edited video about my cats, but obviously that takes a while. I have to get good footage of them. I have to get footage when they're behaving well, when the lighting is good, when my house doesn't look like a mess. So that'll take a while for me to pull together. But in the meantime, you guys can always go to my Instagram for more impromptu photos and videos of my cats, both foster and non-foster. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I'm starting a new thing where I'm putting in end cards now, but I'm putting them over just a random video of a cat. So I'm hoping that that can kind of give you guys a YouTube cat fix. If you guys want to see the last 20 seconds of this video, it'll just be a cat doing something adorable. And I'm hoping it'll be different each week so you guys can kind of see. And it'll be like I'll feature all of my cats, including foster ones. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys are having an okay, at least, start to 2021. I hope it goes a little better than last year, although I'm not so sure about that. And I'll definitely keep you guys posted as things change on my end. I hope I can bring more content to you guys. I really do want to start uploading 2 videos a week. I want to do more things with my Instagram and stuff like that. And so I just really hope you guys will enjoy what I have for you this year. So thanks for watching. Bye!